So this is the first of a series I'm going to do once a month. The first Tuesday of each month, I'm going to do Top 10 Tuesday. This is the first one, and this is my top 10 favorite comic book heroes. Now, the criteria here is it has to be uh, heroes sourced from the comic books, not an adaptation from other media. So Conan is disqualified for that reason. So is Godzilla and some other ones that would have made my list. So that's how I'm going to do it. Uh, you know, for me, Godzilla would have been on the list, and so would Conan. I mean, that's two great examples, but they kind of fall outside the parameters here. I'm talking strictly comic book heroes, original to the comic books. So, number 10 for me is Jessica Jones. Um, she went by a lot of aliases: Jewel, Nitrous, Power Woman, Miss Cage, after she married Luke Cage. Her first appearance was in Alias number 1 in 2001. Of course, Brian Michael Bendis created her along with the artist Michael Gaydos. Uh, this one, she was perfectly portrayed by Kristen Ritter in the excellent Netflix TV series Jessica Jones. I mean, fantastic. I mean, she just literally walked right off the page and onto the screen. Just a perfect adaptation and perfect casting. Number 9 is Ghost Rider, the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. I like the other incarnations of Ghost Rider as well, but Johnny Blaze makes my list at number 9. His first appearance was Marvel Spotlight number 5 in 1972. Uh, Gary Frederick and Mike Ploog created that character, and I've loved almost every version of him that's come down. You know, Nicolas Cage played him in the movies, two of the films, and he was okay. I mean, not perfect by any means, and not perfect films, but he did okay. Uh, Now, there's a lot of rumors that Norman Reedus, Daryl from Walking Dead, will get to play uh, Ghost Rider, and I'm all for that. Hopefully, that'll happen. Number 8 for me is The Thing, Ben Grimm. His first appearance was Fantastic Four number 1, 1961. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created this character and sort of modeled him after Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby modeled him after himself, more or less. He was later developed quite a bit in the comics by our writer-artist John Byrne. He even had a solo series there for a while. Um, love the character. Have loved him from day one. As soon as I read a Fantastic Four comic book, Ben Grimm was my guy. So, uh, there's been several Fantastic Four films, and none of them have been particularly great. But Michael Chiklis's portrayal of the Thing was perfect. I mean, it was just fantastic casting. He did a great job. I mean, hopefully they finally do this property correctly. I hope they think about bringing Chiklis back as Ben Grimm because he did great. So at number 7, Kitty Pryde. And she's went by Catherine Pryde, Sprite, Ariel, Shadowcat, Kate, probably a few others. Uh, First appearance was in Uncanny X-Men 129. Chris Claremont and John Byrne created this character. And, like probably a whole lot of guys and probably some girls at that time, we fell in love with Kitty Pryde. I mean, you know, uh, she was 13 on her first appearance officially, and I was 12 at that time. So, man, I loved Kitty Pryde, and I still do. The film version, uh, not so great. I mean, Elliot Page now, but Ellen Page at that point, uh, did a pretty good job. The look was good, the look was right, but I mean, they changed her power set so much. They gave her some kind of weird mental powers or something in the movies, and just made no sense. This was not Shadowcat. I mean, that's Kitty Pryde doesn't have mental powers, you know. So I'm hoping eventually they get that right, but so far, no. At number 6, I got Silver Surfer. Norrin Rad. Just love this character. I'm a sucker for Cosmic Marvel stuff anyway. as some of you may know if you've seen much of my previous videos. But yeah, I love the Silver Surfer. First appearance was in Fantastic Four number 48, 1966. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, just great. Of course, he went on to have his own series with John Buscema on art, and that was good stuff too. Jack Kirby came into that series and did the last issue, um, number 18, I believe it was. Uh, Too bad. It's the only Kirby art in the series. I mean, I like John Buscema, but Jack Kirby and the Silver Surfer, that's it. The film version of this, oh man, yeah, just about as wrong as you can get it. I mean, is he like giant size or something? I mean, it's weird. Not the Silver Surfer. The look was okay if they could, and the voice by Lawrence Fishburne was pretty epic, but making him some kind of odd giant sized creature, that's just all kinds of wrong. So at number 5 for me, it's Doctor Strange. Stephen Strange, Sorcerer Supreme of Earth. Love it. First appearance was Strange Tales 110 in 1963. Stan Lee and Steve Ditko created this character, and I just love it. So much good stuff with this character. Um, Benedict Cumberbatch does a decent job with Doctor Strange in the MCU movies. I'm not thrilled with a lot of the changes they made in the way the magic works, and I think the costume they came up with is pretty nice, but I'm not sure why they had to mess with the classic costume. To me it was perfect, but it's okay. It's not a bad adaptation. Number 4 is Iron Man. Tony Stark. Just love it. First appearance of Iron Man was Tales of Suspense number 39 in 1963. Creator credit on this is a little complicated. It's Stan Lee and his brother Larry Lieber. Lieber? I think it's Lieber. And artist was Don Heck on that issue, but Jack Kirby pretty much created the look, the costume, and all that. So I would probably give all 4 of them creator credit on that. Of course, the character was later developed a lot by David Michelinie, and for me, I would count Matt Fraction's run as some pretty good character development for Tony Stark, the modern version of Tony Stark. And of course, I got to mention that for me, the greatest superhero film adaptation ever is Iron Man, the first film, 2008. Robert Downey Jr. perfectly cast and perfectly portrays Tony Stark, Iron Man. And I mean, it's kind of I wouldn't have picked him. I wouldn't have been smart enough to cast him in that role because for me, which sounds really odd coming from a short guy, but I thought he's a little short for Tony Stark. But you know what? Powerhouse acting. He owned the character. And in my mind, forevermore, Iron Man is Robert Downey Jr. I mean, perfect. At number 3, it's the Incredible Hulk. Bruce Banner, Joe Fixit, the Maestro, probably some other ones that I've left off here. But first appearance of Incredible Hulk was, of course, issue 1 of the Incredible Hulk in 1962. Another Stan Lee, Jack Kirby creation. Just a great character. Developed by, over the years, been developed by a number of great writers, among them Bill Mantlo, Peter David, of course, Greg Pak, Planet Hulk, that whole deal, and some others. But those are the 3 standouts for me after Stan Lee probably would be Bill Mantlo, Peter David, and Greg Pak. I thought Edward Norton did a great job as Bruce Banner in his Hulk film. And I'm fine with Mark Ruffalo as well. I don't think he exactly captures the nerdy kind of look that I feel like Bruce Banner should have. I think Ed Norton, being a little bit thinner guy and a little more has the look of the comic book Bruce Banner. But it's a minor quibble. I think both adaptations are pretty good. So at number 2, it's Moon Knight. And when I say Moon Knight, I mean Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, Jake Lockley. First appearance was Werewolf by Night number 32. 1975, Doug Minch and artist Don Perlin created this character that just I've loved the first time I seen him, I loved it. I loved the costume. I loved the mystique, the mystery about it. It's all just, I love it. Yeah, I mean, of course, it was really further developed and refined into the Moon Knight that I know and love by Doug Minch, again, say the creator, and artist Bill Sienkiewicz in the '80s series Moon Knight, the first series, the first solo series. I thought it was just excellent, and the Omni's out now, and I highly recommend you guys get that if you haven't read it before. Just so good. As of the time of this shooting, I've only seen the first episode of the Disney Plus Moon Knight, and you know, I try to stay really positive on this channel, and I will for books certainly, but I'm sorry to say they really missed the mark on this. I mean, I guess they're adapting perhaps a couple of the more recent runs, versions of the character that I'm not familiar with. I mean, for me, it's Doug Minch, Bill Sienkiewicz. I also like the John Huston, David Finch run. I thought that was fantastic. I have not read the last two runs, so it's possible where they're getting some of the bizarre choices they're making here. You know, I don't know. I like the actor, but he just does not look or act like Mark Spector or Moon Knight. I mean, it's pretty early. It's only been one episode, so maybe my opinion that'll change. But so far, I'm giving that a meh. But Moon Knight, the comic book character, I love it. Yeah, number 2 for sure for me. And the number 1 in my top 10 favorite comic book heroes is Wolverine. Logan, James Howlett, Patch, Weapon X, a few others I'm sure I've not included. His first appearance was in Incredible Hulk 180, one little panel at the last page, and 181 was his real full appearance. That was 1974. The creator credit on this is a little odd because it's Roy Thomas, who was the editor at the time, Len Wein, John Romita Jr. for his design of the character's look. He was the art director. And Herb Trimpe did the art in those issues. So he was the first one to draw the character. But really, the Wolverine that I know and love, and probably most of you, was mainly developed by writer Chris Claremont with artist John Byrne and then later Frank Miller in the miniseries. It was so awesome. They really developed the character into the character we know and love as Wolverine. I mean, there's a lot you can say about Wolverine. I could go on and on. I mean, I could make a whole video just about Wolverine. Maybe I will one day, but you know, just a fantastic character. He was later developed a little more significantly by some other writers too. Larry Hama during the Wolverine solo series, and Barry Smith, of course, the Weapon X stuff he came up with, where you find out about how he was transformed with the adamantium. And then Paul Jenkins gave us a lot as far as, you know, defining his true origin, and his name being James Howlett came out of Wolverine origin by Paul Jenkins. So that was a significant development. I mean, there's certainly been a lot written about him, a lot of good and some not so good versions over the years. Many people consider him the heart and soul of the X-Men. I mean, he's sort of this noble savage. He's a noble samurai. Many people, and I'm among them, feel like he's the X-Men's moral compass, which on the surface that seems like an odd thing to say because he's been depicted as bloodthirsty and really violent at times. But delving deeper and reading more, you find out that he's a very, very moral character, and he knows right from wrong, and he sort of has to fight those primal instincts at times. But the film version, man, Hugh Jackman, really great actor. He did a good job, but you know, as a short man, I have to say, and a Wolverine fan, I mean that's a potent combo, I guess. You know, but Hugh Jackman's way too tall. He's about a foot too tall. I mean, seems like I'm one of the only people that care about that. Weigh in the comments. Tell me if you agree. But He's too tall. Just a miscast. Sorry, all you Hugh Jackman fans. You can't have a 6-foot Wolverine. It's not Wolverine. Maybe this will get fixed eventually. I don't know. I hope so. But I mean, otherwise, the film adaptations are pretty spot on. You know, they got the claws right. They got the mood. They got the character right. Other than the guy's 6 foot tall. Yeah. You know, but he is my probably my all-time favorite comic book hero. I think easily. So that's my top 10. Top 10 favorite comic book heroes. Like I said, I plan on doing a new top 10 the first Tuesday of every month going forward. So if you like it, look for the next one.